On March 28, 1979, a sightseeing airplane crashed into the side of a mountain in Antarctica. A simple 2-degree change in their flight path the night before that the pilots didn't know about caused them to veer miles off course and eventually right into the side of Mount Erebus. Had the pilots known about the flight path change, they could have used the 1 in 60 rule to safely pilot around the mountain. The 1 in 60 rule states that for every 1 degree change in a flight path after 60 miles, that flight path will be 1 mile off course. Over the course of several thousand miles, this could mean the difference between landing in New York City and Philadelphia, or sadly, in this case, the difference between flying over a beautiful lake and crashing into the side of a mountain. But this 1 in 60 rule isn't just for pilots. As the pilot of your own financial life, you can use this to be hyper aware of small changes in your financial path that can have massive consequences. In this video, I want to show you exactly how you can use the 1 in 60 rule in your financial life and how you can make small course corrections now that can make the difference between retiring with millions in the bank or watching your retirement accounts go. And make sure you stay to the end of this video because I want to show you a free tool that you can use to see where your investments might be veering off course and how that can impact your retirement plans. All right, let's get into it. When talking about investing, 1% makes a massive difference. For example, if you're investing for retirement and you find a way to invest $500 a month into a retirement account, the difference between 7% returns and 8% returns is over $100,000 over that 30-year period. But it actually gets worse. Let's say you hire a financial advisor that puts you in one of these funds that charges 1%, and then they also charge 1%. A 2% fee over the course of retirement could cost you nearly 40% of your retirement earnings. 40%. So these small 1-degree differences along the way can massively impact the trajectory of your retirement and your financial life and cost you literally hundreds of thousands of dollars. One really interesting fact about the 1 in 60 rule is it states that the farther you go off course, the harder it is to correct. For example, let's say you fly 120 miles and now you are 2 miles off course. You're gonna have to actually do a 4-degree correction to get back on course within the next 60 miles. So it's going to take a lot more efforts to catch up. Now, the same principle can be applied to your financial life. The longer you wait to invest, the harder it is to catch up. For example, if you start investing at age 30, let's say you're able to put $500 a month away into a S&P 500 index fund, which has averaged about 10% over the last 100 years. Now, if you save $500 a month until retirement from age 30, you'll have nearly $2 million in the bank. But if you wait until you are age 40 and you invest that saved $500 a month until retirement age, you'll have just over $700,000. That is a $1.2 million difference just by waiting too long. Now, if you want that same $2 million in retirement and you wait, you're gonna have to invest more than double your initial amount, probably closer to $1,400 a month at that same return just to catch up. So just like the 1 in 60 rule states, the longer you wait to correct, the harder it is and the bigger massive sacrifice and change you're gonna have to make to get there. Another small course correction you can make in your financial life is to just look at your spending in a close, intimate way. So this is something I do with my coaching students. We call it the financial audit. And the idea is to go through and intimately look at every single transaction over the last 90 days. And we don't just look at the transactions, we actually give each of them a rating. And students that go through this exercise can hold a mirror to their financial life and go, okay, here's my reality, and then actually make choices to spend in a better way. In fact, on average, my students save about $400 a month just from this one exercise alone. And so let's say I'm working with a couple, they're like 35 years old, and they go through this financial exercise and find an extra $400 a month. If we pour that $400 a month into, let's say, an investment plan that has that same 10% return like the S&P 500, by the time they hit retirement, that could be $900,000 real dollars more in their retirement plan, which is life-changing. So this one small exercise can change the trajectory of their financial life. So I highly recommend going back and looking at your past spending. Honestly, the easiest way to do this is using an app called Monarch Money. Monarch Money is an app, if you've seen my video, I'll link it up here, but in that video, I talked about how mint.com is going away and there's some replacement apps, and I personally am using Monarch Money. What I like about the app is when I connected my accounts, it automatically pulled in my transactions from the past, and I could actually just go sort and look at just the last 90 days of spending and take inventory of where my money has been going. So if you want to do that, give it a shot. They have a free 30-day trial. If you sign up using my link below, check out Monarch Money. I personally actually just signed up for the paid version of it because they have a sweet deal going on, trying to replace mint.com. They've got a code MINT50. So if you use MINT50, you literally get 50% off for the entire year. But Monarch Money is a way you can do a financial audit. Now, again, the goal is look at your spending, make some choices, save some money, and then put that money as much as possible toward retirement. So as you can see, these little 1-degree changes in your financial life can have a huge impact. But the cost of not making these changes and going on the trajectory you are going could be disastrous. Waiting to invest, or choosing the wrong investments, or hiring out your investment plan could have small 1-degree or 1% changes, which can cost you literally hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of your financial life. And that's real money, and more importantly, that's real time. Because the more money that you give away to these small 1% changes, the more years you will have to continue working, and the farther you are away from financial independence. So I promised at the beginning of this video, I would show you a way that you could actually audit your own investments, because investing in compound interest is gonna have the biggest impact on your long-term financial planning. This tool is called Empower Personal Dashboard. You might have known it as Personal Capital, and they're now called Empower. And what this does is it allows you to connect all of your investment accounts in one place, and it'll show you how you're performing against different industry benchmarks like the S&P 500. But one of the more powerful tools in here is called the Retirement Fee Analyzer. And in the Retirement Fee Analyzer, it'll actually pull in all your investments, tell you the fees that you're paying, and show you the impact of your fees over your working life up until retirement. So when I did this in my early 30s, I plugged it in, and I found that if I had been, and I wasn't at this point luckily, but in the past I had been, if I'd continued to pay this 2% fee I was paying for some mutual funds and a financial advisor, that 2% fee over my working life could have cost me 48% of my retirement earnings. And what's more, and that's like $600,000+. What's worse than that is it would have caused me to work 9 years longer. I would have literally given away 9 years of my life just to pay for these fees. So if you want to check it out, there's going to be a link in the description below. It's called Empower Personal Dashboard. You could download the app on your phone. You can use the desktop. I like the desktop version to kind of see it all there. Plug in your investment accounts and see how you're doing. And using that fee analyzer could be very, very eye-opening, especially if you plug in something like your 401k account. So highly recommend Empower Personal Dashboard. Check that tool out. You will not regret it. It's free. It's absolutely worth it. Your entire financial life is a culmination of small steps in the right direction and compounded over time that can set you financially free. But investing alone is not enough. It's a big piece of it, but you also need to be smart with where you put your cash and your savings, which is why I made this video on the best high yield savings accounts that can pay you over 4%. Check it out right here.